I was afraid he was still drinking Papagei.
Well, I was actually just getting my cup of coffee filled. I'm sorry, I'm here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so it's full screen now. As far
Yes.
as I can see myself. So okay, let's get straight into it. Downsizing on Ego or on Canopy. It will be, I think, a pretty much straightforward seminar. Um, I will put myself here on the video as well. I'm sorry. I think you guys can see me now. Yeah, that's better. So if there are any questions, I don't think there are many questions, but however, if there are any questions, just put them in the chat box and then we will answer them at the end of the session. Usually we don't have to introduce ourselves that much because usually people know us, but we have like a different audience here, people from all over the world actually, and also for people who don't recognize me with my nice beard. I'm still Grim Swinnen. I'm jumped for over 20 years. I have over 8,650 jumps right now, and I usually do a lot of a lot of jumps. I do quite some jumps every year, between 400 and 500. Of course, last year with the COVID year, it was definitely a bit less, like most of us probably. I have different kind of roles in skydiving to fulfill, but I'm here on behalf as the Flemish Skydiving Federation, the VVP, and I will use my experience as a flight one instructor, of course, or I used that experience to get this seminar together. Why are we hosting seminars like this? I think that it's introduced by Philippe and also by Ali earlier this morning. Yeah, canopy and landing incidents are the #1 incident and accident reports. Were there last year, it was like that, but the last probably 10, 20 years, it was the same. And we're pretty sure the next couple of years, probably for a long time, still it will be the same. It will be the number of one accident reports. They all have to that all have to do with canopy and landing incidents. And of course, yeah, we want to lower that number, and that's why we're going to continue straight away with the next slide. The target audience here, AFF students up till 30,000 jumpers, basically everyone who is skydiving is this seminar made for. But definitely for any skydiver planning to jump in our canopy within the next couple of jumps, because those people are eager to jump a new canopy, and a new canopy usually means like a faster canopy and usually means also like a smaller canopy. And the skydiver who purchased another canopy at the end of last season, definitely those kind of people, those kind of skydivers, they ended the season knowing or maybe not knowing or expecting that they would go into a long break. And those kind of people, they will usually, probably most of them, they will restart jumping with a canopy that they're not used jumping because they maybe did a couple of jumps with it at the end of last season. And also any skydiver who purchased another canopy during lockdown, those kind of people, they usually sold their previous wing and they need to go into skydiving with a canopy that they don't know after a period of inactivity of, yeah, we heard that in the previous session, of 6 months or longer. What are we going to have to see here in the seminar today? So downsizing is trendy, yeah? That's what it is for many years already. But on the other hand, however it's trendy, they don't like to talk about downsizing because it's a topic that we all want to avoid because, yeah, it's not, I mean, we know that it can be dangerous, and we know that we need to take attention to pay attention to a lot of things, but we will deal with it, we will handle it. And there are, of course, numerous interesting articles and seminars available on the internet. Definitely during lockdown, there are made so many great seminars about so many topics in skydiving. And I think there is a list available. I've seen that last week or a couple of weeks ago, there was someone, I think it was Patrick, he posted that list of all the seminars that were given last year. or maybe the last years. So maybe Patrick can put that in the chat box again. So use your downtime, use your free time when the weather is not bad or when you don't have anything else to do, to go through these interesting articles and educate yourself about skydiving, downsizing, and all other interesting topics. So what we do going to see today is we're not going to go into technical details. Of course, if there are any questions, we were happy to answer them at the end of the session. But I've set together some guidelines of a set of rules to consider if you intend to get yourself another wing anytime soon. When I put all the seminar together, I came across a video of Shannon Pilcher, and just to introduce Shannon Pilcher, he is a skydiver since 1991. He has over 20,000 jumps. Just to see what credits he has in skydiving, he was a formation skydiving four-way world champion, the founding member of the PD Factory team, US Skydiver of the Year, I think 2005 or 6, something like that, meaning that this guy has some credits. He is well known all over the world for his career or seen his career in skydiving. And that video, I will take freedom to share it with you guys because I think it's interesting to listen to. Here we go.
People often make the mistake of downsizing to improve performance instead of raising or training their skill level, broadening your skill level with whatever parachute you might have. So my one piece of advice to so many people is, and I've tried to find a way to just say this simply, but it's just when you're flying whatever parachute you have, people who are watching you on the ground, and it's not who cares what people think, but just as a way of thinking for yourself, to people who are watching you on the ground should see you land that thing and just think, wow, if you're flying a Spectre or a Katana or a Silhouette or whatever it may be, they should think, after a series of jumps, they should think, man, that guy is a badass canopy pilot. Like, he can do anything that parachute is capable of doing. He can do that with that parachute. And that standard, like striving for that standard for yourself with whatever parachute you have, is pretty much should be the litmus test to whether or not I should be considering downsizing or switching models or not. If I can't fly this thing in a series of various situations that I could be confronted with, then I have no business really downsizing or changing models to something sportier or faster.
So I think it's pretty clear what he said. Just to summarize, so don't actually improve in performance before you can handle your current wing as a pro. We're gonna go through the set of rules, but you need to handle your canopy very well. You need to be able to handle your canopy. You need to be to be able to land wherever you want to land. Whatever, we're gonna talk about that any minute soon. And also raise your skill level with your current wing instead of improving performance by getting onto a smaller or faster parachute. Because that's usually what it is. You're just maybe a little bit bored of your current wing, or you think you can handle that other wing, and then just buy another canopy. That's gonna go faster anyways without changing your flight style. So that's what we're going to talk about now, or that's what we put together in this set of rules. So actually, if you want to downsize like a pro, then we have set these rules like or aligned with the 10 commandments, the 10 commandments that we see in the Bible. And if we start off, then we will start off with the first one, and that is experience. And so just always make sure that I will have enough jumps and I will be long enough in the sport before I even think about considering downsizing or getting onto a smaller wing. And what is enough jumps, of course? In the VVP, we have set some rules a few years ago. Just we're not going to go into them, but just if you want to see what is enough jumps for your skill level, and just go to that document on our website. valschermsport.be. I think someone will post it, the document in the chat. And just go and look into that that grid and find how many jumps you have compared to what's a normal canopy size and type is that you can that you're able to fly. And long enough in the sport, what we mean with that is that we have some people that are doing like 200 or 300 jumps in their first year of skydiving, but that doesn't literally mean that they have a lot of experience. They did not stay that many weekends at the drop zone, hanging out at the bar, or they did not experience bad things in skydiving, good things in skydiving. So they don't have enough experience in general to take it that fast, downsizing or getting onto smaller wings that fast. Experience, pretty also straightforward. Secondly, the second commandment, I will make enough jumps each year. Also, in that same set of rules, in the VVP rules, you can see in that grid what is enough number of jumps per year to fly a certain canopy. We have divided all the types of canopies as good as we could into 7 types of wings, going from the first category, like student wings, to the last category, number 7, the ultra high performance wings. And for like adding up each type of wing, like for example, a wing that is situated in category 3, you need to make 25 jumps more per year. So then you need to make 25 times 3 jumps a year is 75 jumps each year. But just, I mean, scroll through that document yourself whenever you have the time. Also think about COVID currency, of course. Everyone is uncurrent now. I also made my last jump last October. Most of us, I didn't see the numbers today, but yesterday it was about 80% of the people that were attending the seminar yesterday that did their last jump in October, meaning they will be out of the sport or out of the air for 6 months or even longer. So during COVID, it is maybe not the right idea or the right moment to get yourself onto another wing. Maybe just wait for another season or whatever. COVID is still not over yet. We don't know how long it's going to last. So maybe reconsider the purchase of your next canopy until postpone it until the next season. That also might be a good idea. And also think about the fact sometimes it's hard to face, but we're still amateurs versus professionals. Doesn't mean that we're doing bad. Handling it the wrong way. But we need to face it. We are just getting in the air only during the weekend. We're weekend warriors compared to people who jump their Valkyrie like every day and who do 800 jumps a year or even more or whatever. So just consider that while thinking about get yourself a wing or thinking about the type of wing that you want to jump in the next couple of years or the next couple of 100 jumps or 1,000 jumps. Third commandment, the wind condition handling. I will manage any wind condition and I will prove consistently that I can handle a crosswind landing situation. Also, something that we need to face. We see quite often people that are not able to handle their wing in a crosswind wind condition, but they feel for themselves that they're ready to get themselves into a smaller wing or a faster wing. So if you're not able to fly your canopy in crosswind, to land your canopy consistently good in crosswind, then there's not even a way of thinking to get yourself into another wing. Downwind, of course, is a different situation, because if, for example, the arrow is put the wrong way by the DZO, or if you would need to land in a downwind situation, if you end up with an outlanding, for example, in downwind, then of course it's normal that you have more nerves than in a normal landing situation. But if you know before you're going to end up in this situation that you're going to freak out, then maybe the wing you're flying now is the right type and size, or maybe already too fast. And also turbulence. Of course, turbulence is always tricky and dangerous, definitely. But if you feel unconfident with your current canopy, flying through turbulence or dealing through turbulence, reconsider your canopy progression. Number 4, the toolbox mastering. I will master all the available tools of my toolbox. So with the toolbox, we mean we have a lot of things literally in hands, and we're capable of doing a lot of things with our canopy. And we start with the toggles, of course. If you're not able to fly your canopy well, to land your canopy well with toggles, if you land, we've seen that in the previous session. I think with Philippe, we went through the numbers of accidents actually with people that just flare too high or too low. Well, if you're not able to flare your canopy well, right-ish all the time, all the jumps, then I should stick with that canopy until you master your landing with that type of canopy. And definitely that size of canopy. Harness body, we can do a lot of things with our harness and our body. If you never heard about it, first try to get yourself familiar with that. And then also a hard thing to face for a lot of people is the re-riser or the riser handling. That's a personal point of view that I have, but in my opinion, people who are not mastering re-riser landings, they actually are not ready, or they should not go to cross-based canopies. That's what we see a lot of people, they want to get it faster because it's fun to fly, of course, but they're not mastering all the tools of their toolbox with their current wings. So there is no reason to get it any faster. Actually, in style, I will land on the spot every jump, and I will land in style on every jump. Of course, as accurate as possible, meaning we had the example yesterday. If most of us know Schaffen, it's a very big drop zone, a very big landing area. If you land on the other side of the drop zone, like 1 kilometer away of the hangar, then officially you landed in, but actually you can consider that as an out landing, definitely if you didn't want to land there. So make sure that you land as accurate as possible, and always prove for yourself that you can land within a zone of, let's say, for example, 20 square meters, whatever you call it. And high-speed landings, of course, you don't. I mean, what we want to say with this is that, of course, if you have a fast canopy already and there is nil wind, that are definitely high-speed landings. Or if you end up in downwind landing situations, what we mean with it is that if you need to have it under control before you can consider yourself ready to get onto another wing. Meaning that if you need to slide down, if you don't land on your feet with a high-speed landing, but it's under control, that's totally fine. But you need to prove that it's under control. That's the bottom line of this commandment. Then we have the sixth one up, feedback. I will, in general, receive positive feedback from others regarding my canopy handling. That's also a tough one, of course. We see that sometimes people, they get mostly negative feedback. They get warned by other skydivers, usually by experienced skydivers, sometimes by their friends, but they don't want to face it. They, regardless of what I say, they still think that you're doing it the right way. So make sure that you get that good feedback before you get yourself onto another wing. And also make sure that you don't get onto that pancake list. And for the people who don't know what a pancake list is, it's literally an unwritten list of people that we all know. Like for example, if one of those guys that's on the pancake list will get up in the air, then all the others come out of the hangar to see to watch his landing, because usually he is not doing the right thing. He's always making nasty landings or doing crazy things. So don't get onto that unwritten pancake list. And usually those people, they don't know that they're on the list, but maybe the community in general should change that as well, and make these people aware of the fact that other people are watching them and that they are not doing it the right way. Number 7, coaching. Also an important one, and that definitely changed over the years compared to when we started jumping many years ago. I'm willing to take coaching, and I'm prepared to make sacrifices. So yeah, willing to take coaching. Of course, taking coaching, it's always a bit more expensive than non-coached jumps. But as stated all the time, so one coached jump equals so many uncountable normal jumps or uncoached that are not under supervision. And in the end, actually, it pays off, not only like money-wise, but also definitely safety-wise. And you're getting yourself into another level, you're safer, you're a better skydiver, you will enjoy skydiving even more than you did before. Willing to take sacrifices. Sacrifices means like if you get yourself a new wing, make the sacrifice and do the next couple of jumps on a low altitude, like do hop and pops for a few jumps. Just make sure that you're alone or maybe with one or two other hop and poppers in the air to get yourself familiar with that wing. And I mean, that's something that that I basically stress all the time, like do hop and pops with your wing to get to know your wing. And then people usually say, well, yeah, that's maybe a good idea, but in the end, they don't make that sacrifice, and they just go up with their new wing with whatever the situation will be. Then they're not looking for a quite dangerous situation, but if the situation ends up that there is going to be whatever, like a full caravan load, a 16 wave for 100 jump or whatever, 1000 jump of a certain skydiver, then that guy will definitely take part of that jump with his new wing, because this is the situation. So make sure that you not end up in that situation. Confidence, number 8, I will feel confident all the time when I fly my canopy. So all the time, actually, in all circumstances. Versus mostly fearing canopy flight, we have like strangely enough, we see people that are freaking out or fearing canopy flight, but then after a few weeks they had some, or after a few times they had a good feeling with their canopy. There did not happen a lot of things, or not a lot of strange things happened during the last couple of jumps, the last whatever 10, 20, 50 jumps. They feel a little bit more confident, and then they feel ready for another wing. But in the end, yeah, whatever things happen might possibly happen in the end. It turns out that it definitely was not the best idea, and something happens, or they even feel even more unconfident. So make sure that you feel confident all the time before you consider downsizing. Choose the right wing, has definitely to do with the previous one. And then, of course, the COVID non-confidence, a little bit the same there, but it's totally normal that after a period of not jumping for so many months that we're not really confident with this, even with our current wing. So Hans, yesterday in his seminar, he went into that as well. You don't need to necessarily go to another wing if you're, I mean, even if you're jumped, for example, already in high performance wing or a certain wing, whatever wing it is, then you don't necessarily need to go to another or a bigger wing the next jump after your 6-month break, but make sure to get yourself confident first, maybe do some hop and pops again before we get into a normal skydiving. Just maybe pull a little bit higher, just make sure that you feel confident again. And then not even to feel confident again to consider downsizing anytime soon, just to get into the season and to get into normal jumping again. Number 9, peer pressure. I'm willing to fly this wing regardless of what others do or regardless of what others think, versus flying this wing because it's socially accepted. And that's definitely a big one nowadays. We talked about it earlier in the introduction. Downsizing is popular and trendy, and because of that, it's a normal thing in the skydiving career that after a few hundred jumps, or not even after a few hundred jumps, it's normal that you get onto another wing because everyone does it. And it's not because everyone does it that you need to do it. I think that's also pretty clear that you need to will it yourself. But just think about it this way. Last one, self-image. I will be honest to myself and I will know my weaknesses. The human factor, we did not talk about that today yet. The human factor, the human error. Like we got informed by the ISC last week. We did not mention it in the previous section, so we do it here now. We got informed by the ISC last week that the last 5 years, 3 out of 4 fatalities were related to canopy and landing incidents. So 75% of the fatalities, were related to a human factor. And I don't know the numbers by heart, but most of the fatalities were related to landing and canopy stuff. So yeah, human factor and error, that's something that we will need to keep in mind all the time, all our life, for the rest of our skydiving career. So make sure that you're honest with yourself, and if you're not ready to downsize, then just take a step back, look at yourself, look at the mirror, and just get yourself, get yourself some coaching, or get familiar with your current wing for the next couple of 100 jumps or whatever. Just make sure that you step back for a bit. Also, the same with the skill level. You definitely can work on your skill level. We talked about it in the coaching point, but just face your skill level, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're not a very skilled skydiver, your time will come, definitely, but just wait for that time to come and do the right things to get there. And then maybe the hardest part is the talent factor. Just look at yourself in the mirror again and look at what you're capable of doing. Maybe now when you can, of course, work on your skill level to work out that talent even more. But if you're dealing with canopy stuff all the time, then just face it and don't get yourself onto a super high performance wing, because that's probably not the right thing for you. And then there are so many other little bit slower canopies that will give yourself so much more fun in skydiving, instead of freaking out all the time, or instead of flying with dangerous wings for your experience and talent. So if we sum them up, the first one, the yellow ones, the experience and the currency, they are very easy to manage. Just look at the documents of the federation, and if you don't have enough jumps, if you're not current enough, then the whole story stops right there, and there's not even a way of thinking of downsizing anytime soon. Then the next ones, they are a little bit more tough to deal with for yourself sometimes, but if you're not able to fly your canopy or to master your toolbox, the whole toolbox, or if you're not able to land where you want all the time, if you're getting like negative feedback in general, then it's not for you yet. Then you're not able to do it at the moment to get yourself onto a smaller wing. Next one, summarized the coaching, the confidence, and the peer pressure. Am I really willing to downsize? Maybe others think that it's a good idea to downsize, but probably I should not do it. And then the last one, that's probably the most, it's not the most important one, but that's important for yourself, is looking in the mirror, like we just ended the last commandment. Just look in the mirror and face, look in the mirror and face if you're ready or not to get yourself into a smaller wing. Some videos to give the whole summer a little bit of power here. I'm just needing to stop this screen, and I'm gonna get straight into the videos. We'll talk about the conclusion in a second. So people who did Flight 1 courses before, they probably recognize this video. It's just a normal wing, a normal standard parachute, not high performance. And that guy flying that wing, he is just showing that he mastered that canopy. It's a Sabre 2, big one. I don't know for her by heart what it is. Like I think it's 170 or even bigger. But he shows that he is capable of landing that parachute the right way. Boom. Then if we get it into other flight styles, can you guys see my screen?
Nope. You're not sharing anything yet.
Not sharing anything yet.
So in the meantime, we can already, when Grim is preparing this, one of the questions that was answered just requested in the chat was indeed, do you recommend upsizing due to currency under my current canopy due to COVID? And this exact question was also requested yesterday, and we asked it to Hans. Should we upsize? Should we go for a bigger canopy or lower category canopy or those kind of things? And the exact answer from Hans was very clear actually in this particular one. He says, listen up. The most important thing is that you jump with something that you're comfortable with. And of course, if you have at home still have another canopy which is bigger and you have a lot of jumps on that, feel free to jump with that one. But do not just go changing canopies just because of currency. I think it's more important also to jump with what you know. And if you're comfortable with that canopy before, then there is no additional change factor towards this year. So I recommend you to look at the answer that Hans was giving, but it's more or less the summary of what I'm telling you as well.
So in the meantime, I found the video. So you guys see my screen now with the effective flare video?
Yeah.
So here you go. This is that Sabre 2 with a standard landing. I mean, it's not necessary to do back riser landings, but this guy shows he masters that wing. That's pretty clear. I will show it once again. And if you can do this consistently, if you prove that to the world, that's what Shannon said in the beginning of the seminar, to start off the seminar, then you're surely ready to get yourself onto another wing if you want to, because it's definitely not necessary. So we'll stop this screen share, and then I will get another video. I think there is some time left, isn't it? You guys see my screen?
Yes.
So we have that. It's a famous video. Maybe some of you guys have seen it already. It's the Sabre 2 120. That guy competed at a swoop competition a few years ago in Dubai. I think it was 2015. And he does like an over 100 meter swoop. I think I can't. We will see it in the video. I think 120 or even longer swoop with a Sabre 2 120. And it's a promotional video, of course. But in the meantime, talking about this swoop here, he goes. He does with that wing what I have no one else in the world seen doing, and it's just the standard Sabre 2 120. And it doesn't mean that you need to do this before you're ready to downsize, of course not. But this proves what you're capable of doing with probably with your current wing. And I will show just one more video to end off. And which screens do you guys see now? My Facebook probably.
We can see the video.
Yeah, this is a Pilot 7, pilot from Aerodyne. This guy swoops it in, back riser lands it, totally under control, drops the toggles. Doesn't mean again that you need to do this, you doesn't need to prove this, but it's totally under control with a 7-cell wing. Boom, we will just wrap it up. We will stop the screen and share one more time the presentation. Here we go. Conclusion, if all skydivers, if anyone around follow these 10 commandments, downsizing rules, then we will definitely have a drastic decrease of canopy related incidents and accidents. That's just for sure. And my time is up, that's right. And lastly, spread the word, because usually that we actually want to have to listen to this kind of seminars, like this safety week. Those people, they usually are not attending those kind of seminars. We saw yesterday, I think, that we have one fourth of the members of the federation that were doing the seminar. Today we have definitely some more people that were joining us, but there is definitely some people around out there that we're meeting on every skydiving day, and that are not really willing to take action or to get themselves familiar with all those kind of seminars or disinformation. And those people, that are the people that we definitely want to reach. So I'm ready. If there are any questions, if there are more questions, we're happy to answer them.
I think we're quite fine on that. Thank you, Grim, for your extensive knowledge, sharing your extensive knowledge on canopies and how to handle them. So we are almost facing the end. Last topic of the day is going to be about first aid. We're going to have Casey, supported by maybe by Jeff.